In this series, we'll explore the world's most overrated tourist attractions.
Today, we are going to be sharing 5 tourist attractions from around the world that we have personally visited, and in all honesty, we are going to let you know if they're worth visiting or not.
Located in Blarney Castle in Cork, Ireland, the Blarney Stone is a block of limestone built into the battlements of the Blarney Castle in 1446. The legend goes that whoever kisses the Blarney Stone will be endowed with the gift of gab, the ability to speak with eloquence and persuasiveness. So we wanted to see if this would actually happen.
The tradition of kissing the Blarney Stone, it started around the 18th century. Now, the exact reason people began kissing it is unclear, but it doesn't matter. The ritual became so popular for visitors that it now has thousands of people lining up on a regular basis to get the stone's famed gift of the gab.
Yeah, today it is one of Ireland's most popular tourist attractions as it draws thousands of visitors annually to partake in what I consider a rather unique experience.
Yeah, so what do you exactly do there? Well, you walk up some narrow steps to the top of the castle, and then you stand in a very long line circling the top of the roof. And then when you get to your turn, a man guides you or a woman guides you. You lay back and you kiss the Blarney Stone over a ledge. Once you do that, you sit up and you move on, and it's over.
So why do people think it's so overrated? Well, the stone itself is located high up in the castle and has really long lines. The castle itself is more impressive than actually standing in queue to kiss the stone, in my opinion anyway.
And a lot of people have concerns about hygiene. You know, hundreds of people kiss this thing daily. Now, they do wipe it with a disinfectant, but that doesn't stop a lot of people from being grossed out by it. And a lot of people always give us a hard time saying that people pee on the Blarney Stone. This is not true. It's at the top of a castle roof and it's all locked up. Nobody pees on the Blarney Stone, people. So is it worth going to? Well, we give this one a yes, it's definitely worth going to. I have always wanted to kiss the Blarney Stone and it lived up to the hype for me. I just thought it was awesome. Blarney Castle itself is worth visiting. And then even if you don't want to kiss the stone, well, that's just a bonus. And the grounds are magical with these enchanted forests and wishing steps, and you can find the Witch of Blarney Castle. They even have the Poison Garden. And did we enjoy the Blarney Stone? You bet we did. And I personally think we got a gift of the gab. So it works.
The Little Mermaid statue is located on a waterfront promenade in Copenhagen, Denmark. It came about in 1909 when Carl Jacobsen, the son of the founder of Carlsberg Beer, fun fact, became captivated by a ballet performance based on Hans Christian Andersen's famous fairy tale. The star ballerina Ellen Price caught Jacobsen's eye and he asked her to model for the statue, leading to the creation of this beloved yet often underwhelming Little Mermaid that we see today.
So why does Dave say underwhelming? Well, a lot of people think it's overrated because the statue is much smaller than most people expect. When you go to visit a statue, a lot of times if it's iconic, you think, oh, it has to be this massive statue, but it's very small and unassuming. It's often surrounded by tons of crowd, making it difficult to get a good view or even a photo. And you know, it's not really located in town. It's kind of not in the most picturesque area of town, although they are working on building that up.
So, should you go visit the Little Mermaid statue? Well, we would say that if you are, downtown and you want to take a walk along the waterfront or go for a bike ride, then we do recommend to stop to take a look at it. But don't do what we did. We took a tour and joined those hundreds of other people vying for a photo op of the Little Mermaid. And believe me, we did not enjoy our time there. I think if we had just done it on our own at another time during the day, we would have had a much better experience.
If you want a real fairy tale experience in Copenhagen, we recommend going to Tivoli Gardens instead. These are the gardens that Walt Disney actually went and based Disneyland on. He got inspired by Tivoli Gardens. Christ the Redeemer is located high on a mountain overlooking Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. It was named one of the new 7 wonders of the world and has become a symbol of the country. But you know what? Many people still think it's overrated.
And why do they think it's overrated? Well, number one, which seems to be a running theme in most of these, is that it's incredibly crowded and it can be really overwhelming during the peak seasons, which kind of takes away from the experience. The viewpoint itself also at the base of the statue really isn't the best. We found, way better views of the city at other places. Also, the climb or the ride to the top, it's pretty time consuming. And, for what you're putting in is just, I don't think the payoff is there.
The statue of Christ the Redeemer looks great from afar. When you're down below looking up at it, it's beautiful. But when you're just going through this series of platforms looking up at it, it's just not that great. It's more like you're trying to get this little selfie of this giant statue behind you that doesn't really work out. So should you go, Dave?
I don't think you need to go up to the statue itself. I think you can admire it from afar. I think it's a lot more impressive with the backgrounds behind it. Taking a helicopter ride is the best way to experience it. The helicopter will go right around the statue. You obviously avoid the crowds. Or if you want to go up and see it from a mountain or go up a mountain in Rio, we do recommend going to Sugarloaf Mountain instead.
Located in Matamata, a small town on the North Island of New Zealand, you are going to find the actual movie set from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. All of the buildings and hobbit houses are left there and scattered throughout the grounds of a sheep farm that's just surrounded by rolling hills.
So why do people say that this is so overrated?
For one, it's expensive. You cannot go into this movie set unless you're taking a tour that is pretty pricey for what you get.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, $75 per person to go in and see this.
Yeah, and a lot of people go to New Zealand for seeing the natural beauty and mountains and incredible scenery. This is just spending all that money to go see a movie set. And because of all these strict guided tours, your time limit is very strict. You don't have a lot of time to explore. You kind of look at one thing, you take a quick picture, and then you run on to the next as another crowd is coming up behind you. So you really feel like you are being herded like sheep.
Gee, that's kind of fitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're on a sheep farm after all.
Exactly. So tell me, Dave, should you visit Hobbiton in New Zealand?
Well, I think that if you are a fan of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, it's definitely a must. If you're a real movie buff and love it, it's great because the attention to detail, that beautiful setting, and that whole immersive experience make it a worthwhile trip for anyone who loves those films. But if you are not a huge fan of the films, I would say you could probably skip it. So in my opinion, I don't necessarily think that this is worth the money.
Okay, we're heading stateside now to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. It's one of America's national treasures, and it attracts more than 2 million visitors a year to see the faces of 4 presidents carved into the side of the Black Hills Mountains. So why is it overrated?
Number one is the historical controversy surrounding the land and its impact on the Native American communities. Mount Rushmore, for those who don't know, was built on sacred land that the government took from the Sioux Lakota people. So it's very controversial.
It can feel very touristy there as well. It feels more like going to Disneyland rather than a place that is honoring 4 American men of history.
And I think because it's free to get in, that obviously adds to the amount of people that are there. So like all the attractions that we've talked about today, crowds is a really, really big issue.
So should you go?
So this is another one of those, so that if you are actually in the Black Hills of South Dakota or you're exploring Badlands National Park, sure, pop in and make a visit because you're right there. But if you do that, make sure to see Crazy Horse as well. That's the monument that was built to honor the Lakota Sioux people as a way to counter the insult of white faces on their native land.
And I actually enjoyed that more than going to Mount Rushmore because they actually had museum and history and the bus to take you up and guide, so it had a lot more to it. So there you have it, people, the 5 attractions and why they might not live up to the hype, but why some of them do as well.
Now, do you agree with us or disagree with us? We want to know in the comments. So let us know whether you thought we were right or wrong on each one of these.
And if you want to know more about other overrated attractions, we have a full series. So this is just the first of a few, so stay tuned for more.
And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell because we put out new videos every week and you don't want to miss one. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now.